Thank you.
Chair recognizes Ms. Stefanik from New York.
Thank you. Governor Hochul, on your first day in office, you signed Executive Order 1. Is that correct?
I believe it is.
And you extended this executive order not once, not twice, but 3 times, most recently January 16th this year. Is that correct?
If that's what your facts show, I signed countless executive orders.
I would
and
assume you'd
policies
know
and
it's
laws.
Executive Order 1. And this is a continuation of your predecessor's sanctuary state policies, correct?
Hey everyone, welcome back to True Voice. I'm your host, Andrew, and if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. This is the space where we speak honestly, clearly, and always with conviction, because the truth deserves a voice. We're reacting to a pretty heated exchange from a recent government hearing. A Republican lawmaker confronts New York Governor Kathy Hochul about her executive orders, particularly one that continues sanctuary state policies. Let's get into it.
Is included in that.
I want to be sure we are defining sanctuary state properly.
I'll define it for you. It is the policy of the state that state officers or employees shall not disclose information to federal immigration authorities for the purpose of federal civil immigration enforcement. It goes on to say, law enforcement officers may not use resources, equipment, or personnel for the purpose of detecting and apprehending any individual suspected or wanted for violating a civil immigration office. Law enforcement officers have no authority in the state of New York to take any policy action solely because the person is an undocumented alien. That's a quote in your executive orders that you extended. Now, do you know who Sakir Akan is?
I want to get back to the first part
No,
of
I'm
your
asking a question. Do you know who
Well,
Sakir Akan is?
I want to make sure you understand that this simply says that we will cooperate with ICE.
No,
in
it does
all-
not say that. I read what it
We will
says, and let me talk to you about the results. Do you know who Sakir Akan is? You should, as the governor of New York State. Do you know?
Refresh my recollection.
He was an illegal migrant in New York. And do you know what crime he committed in addition to being here illegally?
No, I do not.
You do not. This was widely reported. He found a 15-year-old girl, threatened her with a metal pole, told her to get into the back seat of his car, he took her clothes off, and he violently raped her in Albany, New York. Do you know who Sebastian Zapita Khalil is?
I'm sure you'll tell me there's many cases, whether they're
These are
here-
high-profile cases.
Yes.
New Yorkers know about them, and you don't. So let's talk about Sebastian Zapita Khalil. Do you know who that is?
I don't have the specific details at my disposal, no.
Well, this is an illegal migrant in New York because of your sanctuary state policies. Do you know what crime he committed?
I'm not familiar at this moment.
I bet you're going to be familiar when I remind you. He found a sleeping woman on the subway, lit her on fire, and burned her alive. This is in Kathy Hochul's New York. And as I'm sure you are aware, and I'll remind you, that ICE issued an order to detain this violent criminal, but that was rejected by New York officials due to sanctuary state laws. Now, do you know who Raymond Rojas Basilio is?
I just want to say this. These crimes are horrific.
Because of
condemn
your
them,
because of
and I
your
would say
sanctuary state policies.
In all of these cases, we would work with ICE to remove
You
them.
did not in this case. They are
If they need
walking
our
on the
assistance.
streets because of your policies and your executive order that you signed 3 times. Now, Raymond Rojas Basilio, do you know who that is?
I'm telling you this. I will
You don't know
explain to you
who
the
it is.
policies of New York. We cooperate with, I know you're just
You do
trying
not.
to.
You do not. Specifically,
miss-
ICE was told not to detain this individual, and he burned a woman alive on the New York subways in Kathy Hochul's New York. So I will keep on going. What about Raymond Rojas Basilio? Do you know who that is?
I'm going to tell you our overall policy, which will address all this.
I'll tell
We
you
do
who
not-
that is. He is an illegal who molested an 11-year-old in our state because, again, of your sanctuary state policies. This illegal was shielded from federal immigration enforcement and able to commit this heinous crime. And what about Wilson Castillo Diaz? Do you know who that
I am
is?
telling you this. We do cooperate fully with ICE in criminal prosecution. Our sanctuary
You're not advocating for
regulations
these victims.
only deal
This
with
is a
civil
5-year-old who
enforcement.
was raped
Civil
on Long
enforcement.
Island in Nassau County. You are not advocating on behalf of these victims. You are shielding illegals. Even in your opening statement,
That is
you
not true.
prioritize putting illegals first.
That is not
Rapes
true.
of young girls, beatings of NYPD cops by illegals who are here under Kathy Hochul's failed policies, burning New Yorkers alive. This is Kathy Hochul's New York. It's one of the many reasons why you're hemorrhaging support from hardworking New York
These are
families.
horrific crimes, and they're
They're
heartbreaking.
horrific crimes that are committed on your watch. You signed this executive order on your first day in office. You signed it again and again this January. We deserve a governor who stands up for law-abiding New Yorkers, doesn't put illegals first, but actually puts New Yorkers first. I appreciate
Rather than
the
going
chairman's-
after the viral moment, I suggest you
No,
look
no,
at the
no.
facts.
I'm standing up for New Yorkers.
No.
Rather than addressing the illegals in New York, you are prioritizing your far-left sanctuary state policies, which you put in place with executive orders. Instead of advocating for
cooperate
victims,
in all
a
those
5-year-old
cases.
who
We
was raped,
cooperate with ICE.
you did not. They were released
We
because
cooperate
of
with
sanctuary
ICE.
state
We
policies in New
cooperate
York
with
State.
law
No
enforcement.
amount of words is going to clean up your failed record and these horrific crimes committed in sanctuary state that you created. And with that, I
Your
yield back.
representation, the facts are
Gentlelady
absolutely false.
yields back.
Absolutely
Chair
false.
recognizes Ms. Norton from Washington, D.C.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let's be real. Since the start,
Let me start by saying this. These crimes are horrifying. As a New Yorker, as an American, and as a human being, my heart breaks for the victims and their families. There's no excuse for what happened in those cases. Period. But here's the thing. We cannot confuse immigration policy with criminal justice failure. This executive order that Governor Hochul extended is not about protecting criminals. It's about making sure our state resources aren't misused for federal immigration crackdowns that often tear apart families, many of whom are working hard, paying taxes, and contributing to our society. Okay, this part. It's clearly a political moment. The lawmaker is rattling off horrific crimes, and yes, they're real, but he's using them as rhetorical weapons, not solutions. Governor Hochul is not personally shielding anyone, and the idea that one executive order led to these tragedies oversimplifies the problem. ICE has full authority to act. State non-cooperation doesn't mean obstruction. It means prioritizing trust in communities, so people aren't afraid to report crimes or go to the hospital. I believe in law and order, but I also believe in due process. Painting all undocumented immigrants as violent criminals isn't just wrong, it's dangerous. It leads to fear, hate, and policies that do more harm than good. If ICE issued detainers and they were ignored, we need to talk about why. Were they civil infractions or criminal warrants? There's a legal difference that matters. The public deserves clarity, not fearmongering. As Democrats, we can and should do better on messaging here. Sanctuary policies are not a license for crime. They're a framework for focusing local law enforcement on real public safety priorities, not immigration rates. But we also have to be clear, if someone commits a violent crime, their immigration status doesn't shield them. They should be arrested, tried, and if convicted, face full consequences. Justice has no borders. This part is tough to hear, because it's meant to divide us. Nobody is putting immigrants ahead of citizens. The truth is, we're all safer when our systems are clear, humane, and effective. We should absolutely support the victims, but using them to score political points? That doesn't honor their pain, it exploits it. So here's the real takeaway. Yes, hold leaders accountable. Yes, protect public safety, but don't let partisan outrage distract from the bigger truth. This is Kathy Hochul's New York, but it's also our New York. We fix it with facts, compassion, and strong policies, not with fear. Thanks for watching today's reaction. If you found this thoughtful, or even if you disagree, drop a comment below. Let's have the hard conversations, but let's keep them honest. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to True Voice, because the truth belongs to all of us. See you next time.